This episode brought to you 2 weeks late by the PAX Box. Hello everyone and welcome to this belated episode of Fortnightly Frontier that has a special theme, doesn't it, Myre?
Does it?
Yes, we are talking exclusively about Squadron 42. But before we do that, let me introduce myself. I am your host, Darjanator, and over there, as I said before, is Myre.
That's me.
That's him. Yes, we've been offline for a while, and as the Cold Open said...
The pox packs.
The pox packs, yes. That thing. And work, and other real-life things. I mean, where the hell did that come from? We don't have real life. At least I don't. So why the hell did it creep up all of a sudden and threw a wrench into our plans?
I don't know, but how was it? How was Germany? I don't think I've actually asked that question. How was Germany?
I went twice.
Right. For work, I'm guessing, right?
For work, yes. And it was tiring, cold. I got sick twice because I had to work outdoors during like the snowstorms that hit at exactly the same times as I was there, and but now.
So where were you?
No, I'm around Berlin.
Ah, okay.
So basically, same sort of distance, but other side of Germany.
Right. Okay.
And yeah.
I've just been sick.
You've just been sick, yeah. You got sick for no reason at all, and I got sick.
How dare I?
Yes. But I'm fine now. I no longer sound like B. Arthur, and I am no longer releasing mucus out of every orifice, which is always a good thing. So that's why I'm filling myself with liquid, because I'm kind of feeling dehydrated.
All right.
Anyway.
So today is, as I said in the pre-show, a special episode because I think it's the only episode of the Fortnightly Frontier that has, I guess, I would say nothing to do with Star Citizen, but I mean, it kind of has everything to do with Star Citizen without being Star Citizen, right?
Yeah, considering just how much Squadron 42 and Star Citizen as games are intertwined, using the same technology and assets, and being in the same universe. Yeah, that's how little is gonna have to do with Star Citizen.
So
anyway,
I think a lot of fans and a lot of backers, a lot of just anybody watching and following Star Citizen's development, and of course Squadron 42 were super happy and excited to see finally for the first time in a long time actual footage of Squadron 42. You know, in the shape of the holiday and anniversary live streams, right?
Which we did do a live, semi-live feature on, so we already covered a bit of that, but we only covered what we saw in the video, like immediate reactions. Yes, but, you know, we on this show are nothing if not very fond of theory crafting, so I think this episode is going to be dedicated to that.
Fair enough.
Like, this may not go very well with our audience, but not that keen on Star Citizen itself.
Right.
Because lately, in the past, you know, I don't know how many years I've gotten very disillusioned with multiplayer games. Mainly because everybody's just been taking the simple route of having arena matches that have a kind of tacked on story to them. It's trying to put you know what you're doing into perspective, but gameplay wise, it's basically just deathmatch,
right?
Which just does not attract me that much. Although, you know, as we've been following Star Citizen's development, that is going to be, at least appear to be, quite story-driven sort of multiplayer instead of just a pure sandbox or pure multiplayer mode.
I mean, so going from Squadron 42 and talking about Star Citizen's mechanics now, it was about to happen. It was about to happen.
But I do have a plan of how I'm going to get back to Squadron 42.
Right. I mean, one of the most recent things that they brought up regarding Star Citizen has to have been the service beacons, and that's something we haven't spoken about yet. And with those, I feel like it's kind of like more going towards sandboxiness. I mean, that's a very sandboxy kind of thing to do, to say here are the tools to the game. Basically, do you want to, give people missions, or do you want to make yourself available for SNR so people can ask you, that kind of thing? I think that on the other,
it's not going to be that complex of a mission. It's going to be, you won't be able to control what happens once people get to their destination, like a proper game master would.
Right.
So it'll be slightly less complex than that. But yeah, I do get what you're getting at. Yeah, it's going to be very sandboxy. But although, again, sandbox for the sake of sandbox is not something I really want to get into.
I mean, with Bruto and Eckhart, though, I mean, I just hope that they have ideas and fixings for more characters like that going forward. More, I think they call them hero characters, which will have it more. Which will have a more narrative-driven course.
That is something I am excited about, and which is why ever since I backed the game, I've mostly been excited about Squadron 42, which is that story-driven game.
Through and through,
yeah. No sandboxiness, no combat just for the sake of combat. Everything that happens in the game serves to forward the story in some way. At least if not the main story, maybe some of the side stories with, character relationships and stuff like that.
I think one thing that excited me the most about Squadron 42, at least with the dev commentary, was that they said that so we had a few back and forths between some of the the lesser members of the crew, right? Well, they mentioned how yes, we just saw two conversations, but almost every character, including the janitor, you can talk to in the very same way. And I'm hoping that as the game progresses, there's going to be more chains of conversation, and it's not just a one-off thing. And he expanded that conversation at the lift, and that's really all the background with that character. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. I want to know who that rookie Marine is, because every actor's performance in that was great.
Yeah. I remember last year, was it? There was it wasn't a game show, but it was like an American reality TV show about one lady who ended up being one of the on-scene characters. It was just an episode, right, of this show about voice.
That was more than a year ago. It was at the time of the Next Raid Starship, I believe.
I don't think it was that far back in the past, unless I'm phasing in and out here. But I remember that was a thing, and we didn't even see her or her character during the Squadron 42 thing, and she was meant to be an integral part of it. Well, not an integral part of it, but she was like a background thing, yeah.
Yeah, but there's so many different characters. Like if you go to the Squadron 42 website and go through all the characters,
yeah, I mean she's on A-lister. She got there through a game show, yeah.
Yeah, but there's so many more that even haven't been confirmed yet. Like I know at least two that are not on the list, and they're quite high-profile actors, and I'm not going to spoil.
Right.
There's not going to be just a few characters that you meet. It's going to be so many different tiers. Selvin, shush.
He said that quite a lot. Oh, right.
Yes, shush.
That was common knowledge now, at least on the subreddit.
Is it common knowledge?
On the subreddit, sure, yeah.
Yes. Yes, well, if people are actually interested in this sort of thing, they will know about it. But yes, that sort of person, and, you know, just there's going to be so many different people that they couldn't have squeezed everything into the vertical slice. It was just 1 hour of gameplay, and most of that was outside the ship, where it was just you, the old man, and then Trejo, with a few bad guy NPCs. And where was I going with this?
I could see you thinking, and I could see that train of thought going like off a
I could see the little cogs just going.
Well, you were talking about having that single player immersive gameplay experience.
Yeah, something I've always wanted, and a few games were able to deliver on. Like the original Mass Effect trilogy was one of those. That really actually kind of put you into the hero role, like you were the savior of the universe.
Right.
But this is going to be different. It's going to be so different. You are just a pilot on a battleship. There's still commands coming from on high.
As far as we know, I mean, Luke Skywalker was just a guy who used the Force to bend bullets into a Death Star. I mean, like, that could be us, right?
Possibly. Possibly. We don't know what's planned for Squadron 42 episodes 2 and 3. However, if every person, that finishes Squadron 42 ends up as a high admiral in the UEE fleet, just how many retired high admirals of the UEE fleet are going to be walking around in Star Citizen?
You see, I mean, like, that's the thing that I think we talked about before, about like how we wanted, how I wanted at least accolades from Squadron 42 to be reflected into the verse. And I think Chris actually mentioned something like that, but I don't think.
He said it's going to be something like a journal that where you can revisit it. But I still like our idea more, like having a modular pin.
Dress uniform,
uniform with the pins.
We should mock it up and post it on Reddit and say, this is how I hope achievements from Squadron 42 will carry on to Star Citizen. I think it'll be on the first, or it'll be on the. It'll be widely accepted, I think, because of the whole kind of biogenic achievements thing.
Because the pips do exist. I mean, is that the actual term for it? Because I know in Star Trek the pips.
In Star Trek they are pips, and
but they are the little rank, just a rank insignia.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the accolades. Yeah, it could be different. Could be pips because they are little squares.
They're called medals, aren't they?
Well, the medals are big things with a ribbon and a big hunk of metal, and then they are represented by the little colored squares. And we saw Captain White on the uniform in the briefing.
Okay.
He had that, but I don't know whether that's just static or whether it's going to actually be a representation of his history, military history. And that would be cool.
I hope it will be, because that is physicalized achievements, right? In the way that Chris always said he wanted. Off topic, I mean, like something that I've been doing and I've been playing for a little while now has physicalized achievements in the same kind of sense, and that's on Oculus VR. Like in the Oculus Home, when you get an achievement, you can go to your like little Oculus Home, and you can put your achievements on your wall, like framed pictures. Basically, it's pretty cool.
Well, there is something similar already with the trophy case in the hangar.
Right.
But yeah, like a dress uniform with the pips is still something that I think that was actually your idea that just completely latched on. Yeah, but it's something I'm gonna have to make happen in Photoshop or something like that.
I mean, like there are already so many medals and stuff from And I'm just thinking about reception now, like like on Spectrum and the like, right? Because there are already medals, like MVP, those random ones for like a fool, like Big Benny's, that kind of thing. You don't want those on your dress uniform, but it can be an example. But if you put that as an example on Reddit, someone will go, "No, it's not immersive. There's Big Benny's on that suit." So you have to think about it a bit.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna tell the chat and stream because we are streaming live on Twitch right now. I'm not gonna tell what's rolling around in my head as to how to do it, but I already have a plan,
right?
On how to do it, and I think it's going to be quite cool. I just need, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it because that's really something that I want to see, because. Like out of we're being super rated right now by Metalchi.
We're being super rated. If you needed any more evidence that this, while you're watching it on YouTube, is not live, but it went live a few days ago, here it is.
Yes, everybody on YouTube, we've just been rated.
And if you don't know what raid is, I'm not gonna go into it. Just go on Twitch, I suppose. Go to twitch.tv/Myre and watch this show live. Damn it. Anyway, that's one thing.
I just wanted to just keep, basically, yeah, it'd be awesome. Like being able to just go to Port Royal or like ArcCorp or whatever and just see somebody and you'd know without even having to talk to them that they had done this, that, the other. At the same time, though, it kind of makes me feel like if anybody wanted to go ahead and do a really dangerous mission, like raid a Vandal Kingship, it kind of reminds me of the whole Link achievement thing from World of Warcraft, where like no one will have you on their team because they could like just check to see if you've done something, and if you haven't done something.
Yeah, but a dress uniform is going to be something that only comes out on special occasions. You don't see ex-military people, unless they're a bit cuckoo,
go to Walmart wearing the dress uniform. Yeah,
exactly. I wonder if we'll get a sword,
a
saber. Yeah,
it's more of a Teverin thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I think the U.S. Navy right now with a dress uniform does require a saber.
Right. Sure. Why not, actually? I mean, if they are introducing melee weapons...
I'm basing all my knowledge from JAG, by the way.
JAG?
Judge Advocate General. It was a TV show in the 90s about basically Judge Advocate General of the U.S. Navy.
Right.
And I only watched it for one reason, and I think anybody who's familiar with the show will know what that reason is.
Nikki from CIG says, "We already have 2 sabers."
I'm actually gonna put him.
You're gonna edit that in, are you?
Yeah. I'm not proud of it. I'm gonna do it.
Ah, man. But yeah, Squadron 42.
Yeah, about that. I think we can extrapolate backwards that whatever happens in Squadron 42 in regards to the player rank, will remain a lieutenant or somewhere along those lines.
Maybe, hopefully, unless something catastrophic happens towards the end. Yeah. Whereas you've been stripped of all your rank, or you retire. Or, I don't know. If you retire from the military, you keep your rank, right? If you've been
unless you're dishonorably discharged.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Although I do believe the stripping of rank comes first, and then you're dishonorably discharged with the rank you're given after the stripping.
Right. Unless, of course, Squadron 42 ends by old man saying something like, "Don't do it, Lieutenant. Otherwise, we're gonna strip you of rank. But I've gotta save the humans. It's too dangerous." And then he saves the humans, and he gets stripped of rank. Kind of like Anyway,
were you gonna reference the first episode of Star Trek Discovery?
Maybe.
Yeah. And if anybody hasn't watched that fantastic show, which I have to say is getting fantastic.
Oh, dude, have you seen? This is so off topic, but have you seen it?
This is so off topic. Yes.
Have you seen the most recent one?
Yes.
Yes.
Every episode after the mid-season hiatus has been excellent, and I thoroughly recommend to everyone to just go watch. Not now. This is Fortnightly Frontier time, but will be over soon, and you can go to Netflix unless you live in the United States or Canada, and watch it there.
It is really good. You know, I love Star Trek, and it got very Star Trek very fast, and then yeah, it's very Star Trek.
But anyway.
You don't think so?
Stripping of no. I just want to go back to Squadron 42.
Of course.
Yes. Stripping of rank could happen.
I don't see any other way. I mean, I don't think Chris Roberts is all about everybody being the same when the game starts. He wants everybody to be slightly different. That's why he's okay with pledging people, like allowing people to pledge X amount of ships, and then accommodating for it by balance towards the beginning of actual release. So,
but you know how they can really easily explain that.
Okay, how?
UEE, just like in Starship Troopers. If you want to be a civilian citizen, you need to serve.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're a civilian. However, just like Rico, you can come from a very rich family. And then when your service ends, you go back to the money you came from, and you can afford ships. You don't have to start from the ground up.
Right.
Just saying.
It poses an interesting question, actually. I mean, if citizenship has to be earned. So if you only buy Star Citizen and you don't buy Squadron 42, even though you're not locked out per se of anything in Star Citizen, what exactly is there that citizenship doesn't get you? You know, because you're technically not a citizen, so you're lacking.
Thing is, I think Chris Roberts said that at the end of Squadron 42, you will be given a choice.
Okay.
Whether you want to finish the not the story, but the process, and then become a Star Citizen, or not, and then live outside of UEE protection and stuff like that.
Right. You know, I find it really interesting.
That's been years ago, though, so I could be completely making things up.
So I find it interesting, and I haven't seen it anywhere else. Not online. Maybe somebody can find it for me, but give me a second. I hate to stop like mid-sentence, but...
Right. What is he doing? What are you doing?
This isn't it. This is the 800. Anyway, so like in the brochure, I think it was in the brochure for CitizenCon, there was a poster for the UEE advocacy, and I don't think I've seen it anywhere else, not online or anything. And it was on the walls and stuff. In
is it the one you took? I took a photo of you with next to it. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it anywhere else. But you know, is that something that's going to be locked out to people who don't play Star Citizen? I mean, Squadron 42, because it's like,
well, like I was trying to get to, you don't have to become a Star Citizen after you finish Squadron 42.
Right.
But there should be some sort of way for you to become a citizen even if you don't play Squadron 42. Like, as if your character did go through it.
Right.
But you didn't, you didn't pay for the privilege, I suppose.
Okay, fair enough.
That's something that will have to be decided years from now, I suppose. But, well, suppose the only thing that we could theory craft, I suppose, is what we did see in the live stream.
Okay.
And so how missions are going to fold out and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we did see the live stream, and we actually did a whole feature on it and stuff. And I think one really neat thing about the live stream, or at least Squadron 42 that we've seen, is just how varied they've kind of made out your choices to be. It's almost like Skyrim in space, with the ability to with so many forking paths that kind of lead towards, I guess, the inevitable goal. I mean, like in the actual demonstration, we saw them flying over to the coil, which was this like a really interesting, like a collapsed planet or something, was it?
It's a planet whose star went nova before the game starts, and that is the remnants of the planet core, I believe.
Right. Did you say a planet like, that went nova?
No, it's the planet's star went nova, so I have no fucking clue what that is. There's another star there.
I mean, it could have been a binary star system.
Possible.
But
yeah. It's one of the innermost planets, and you know the crust and the mantle got blown away, I suppose, and the core is what was left behind it, and it cracked into, but it's still kind of there.
Okay.
And you can just, there's just enough room to maneuver a big ship through.
So I'm not too sure about it. I mean, like they've said it's not solid, but it looks solid. It's like a really dense cloud of electromagnetic death.
Yeah. There's gonna be I think what they meant with solid was and yeah, I believe Ichiru in chat has a point that our frames just went to crap when he started playing that.
Yeah. I think the frame rate on the XSplit is actually significantly better than the frame rate on the call.
Could be.
But
anyway,
but they are still not good.
They are still not good. No. It's almost as we're playing Star Citizen. Joke.
Oh. Anyway, so we'll go back. We'll come back to this now. In that case, if it's a bit janky.
Yeah, I believe this is much smoother. Hey, it wouldn't be an episode of Fortnightly Frontier without technical difficulties. So everybody's seen the video already, and if they haven't, what the hell have you been up to? I even made a separate video about it, which you should go see. I think it was a very educational video, but I will not spoil what it is. It's on the Fortnightly Frontier channel. Go now. Pause it on YouTube. Go watch it. Come back. We'll be here. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, it's 2 halves of the core of the planet that are being mined, and the cloud around is probably the remains of the planet that just got vaporized in a permanent magnetic or electric storm, and there are going to be passages through where a ship can survive, but what they're calling a solid, like a wall, is where the electrical disturbance is just so high, it's going to fry the ship and every biological thing inside it, meaning you.
Right. And I actually have an image of that here because we don't have to play a video to pause it. And here you can actually see Wait, is it still janky?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so jank.
Yeah. But like in that image that caused the stream to die, because why not? You can see the what is it, like a Aegis reclaimer that's basically scavenging a starfarer, and you as a commander had the option to arrest her, right? That's an entire thing.
Yeah. Because you are given free roam on the mission to do as you please, and then you decide whether you just want to get information from this person, or do you want to be a dickhole and arrest her for not illegal salvage, but just because she was looking at you wrong or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's part of the whole. I mean, like, even though it looked very linear, because of course it's a vertical slice. Vertical things tend to be a straight line.
Yeah, and the choices were predetermined before.
Yeah. It looked like you could at many different points in time in that demo, you could have said nope, and then done something else. To some degree, I mean, like, it still is a single player game, and I haven't played like Wing Commander or Freelancer or anything, so I don't really know how those things work. But it seemed like, you know, when when it came to looking for Trejo or something, you could have just gone, I want to go to the Idris first, and gone to the Idris or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It felt like you had you were free to do that kind of thing. And I don't know, again, it's just a vertical slice. So the parts of the game that would say you couldn't or otherwise are kind of like are not necessarily there. But a lot of stuff in that vertical slice weren't necessarily there. A lot of heads-up display items and stuff weren't there. But
well, yeah, that's just technological stuff that's missing because it hasn't been developed yet.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it looked like you could drag out that scene much longer. You know, you could have gone to the briefing room. You could probably like stayed back and talked to Liam. I'm sorry, what's his in-game name?
White.
You could have talked to Captain White a bit longer. You could have probably like hung out with the guys on deck. You could have probably followed those prisoners to the brig. You know. All those kind of things.
Speaking of the prisoners, I was so excited when they brought out Takaga is his name, and I still claim, and if people, if this turns out to be true, I'm gonna be so smug. Takaga is Sato-kan.
The whole hiding in plain sight thing is that?
Yeah.
You sure? I mean, like they've described. I think that sadly, that's probably not likely because they have mentioned that Takaga is the brawn to what's the other guy's name?
Sato-kan, I believe.
Yeah, to Sato-kan's brain.
They all mumble it a bit, so I do believe it's Sato-kan.
Yeah,
but
so
it could all be a double bluff.
It could be. It could be if, like, you know, if Chris told the directors told the devs to describe it that way. Maybe, yeah. Otherwise, I think that maybe they've kind of already cut that theory in the bud already.
Yeah. Although he is one of the major players in Squadron 42.
Is he really? I mean,
what is his name? The actor's name?
Ghost from it's the same voice actor that did Ghost from Call of Duty, I believe.
I think he's wasted on just voice. It's not Mendelsohn. Mendelsohn is the
Ben Mendelsohn.
guy. No, Ben Mendelsohn is CEO of Shubin.
Okay.
Fairbrass. There we go.
Fairbrass. Okay.
Fairbrass. Yeah. Big dude. I think I've seen him once in London just randomly, and he's like a head taller than the tallest person I've ever seen. And when he stepped out of the Argo, which they said they had to modify to actually fit his model inside, which was quite cool. I kind of, jumped with joy because here's somebody that's not the same build and size as 100% of other people in Squadron 42.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to kind of like explain that one, because literally every character, except for this one, is a bit larger. Could it be that in the future, in 2957, people reproduce clonally, and he's
and he's a bio baby.
Yeah, he's a bio baby.
He wasn't genetically engineered. His mommy and daddy loved each other so much they let nature run its course.
A disgusting child of passion.
Anyway. Kind of, yeah. I think we're both talking about the same movie, but then they explained that they just took the standard skeleton and put it in a like a photocopier, put in 110%, and then just print.
Yeah, I wonder if they will actually explain it, because you okay?
Sorry. Yeah, I just choked on my own genius.
Wow.
But yeah, and then they just, they said that for every sort of interaction, they did the inverse, which is 0.9090909, whatever it is, 1 divided by 1.1, just to make everything match up. Because if you do everything by 110%, then his walking speed or walking pace or gait is the same. So whatever's captured, for him to walk, he'll move 10% more than was originally planned, and it's like
reminds me of World of Warcraft, actually, where they had like these boss monsters, and they were literally just scaled up. Like really early on, there was a boss monster that was like a ginormous boar, and because it was basically a very small boar scaled up like 400%, it moved like this. Like it galloped like a through the fields kind of thing at you.
Yeah,
and then
just
gored you
so
to death.
Yeah. So they match the gate to its desired end speed. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do that with Warcraft.
But yeah, I was just so excited that maybe we'll then see different sizes humans or different sizes Vandul.
I'm not sure how common
relative
that would
to
be.
each other, but
yeah,
it seems like it's a one-off. It's not sort of like the basis for a technology that would allow them to create differently sized characters.
Yeah, I mean, like it was an entire like segment in Squadron 42. It seemed like a feat, Like
well, with the current technology, maybe years after the release, they'll figure it out. But I do believe, even especially after seeing how they did that, it looks like that is been put on hold until after the game goes gold. Well, but we did get confirmation that we'll be able to modify our characters in other aspects.
Okay.
Such as something that was on everyone's mind on Reddit. Will you be able to play as a female? And the answer is yes.
Yes. I mean, I'm not even sure where where people thought that you wouldn't.
Where the uncertainty came from, because I clearly remember Chris Roberts saying that it'll be like you were going into like a bathroom, and then you'll be able to select your gender, like whilst looking yourself in the mirror. Gender, and then facial features and hair and eye color and stuff like that. Which that's the actual process probably won't be like that, but the ability to be female has always been there. But since the last confirmation of that was years ago, most people just forgot, I suppose.
So going back to accolades and stuff that you'll be able to do in Star Citizen as a result of Squadron 42. I remember now Chris Roberts mentioning, I think 2 weeks ago in a Reverse the Verse, answering a question about the F8 Lightning. And I think he says that you won't get the F8 Lightning until Squadron 42 is out, as in like for people who have it or like, concierge or whatever. And basically the way it works is that there are a few ships, so if you make it far enough in Squadron 42 that you can fly them. Obviously, if you get towards the end, you can fly the big ships, right?
Right, so you get upgraded from a Gladius to an F8.
Yes, but after all that, you'll get a badge in the Persistent Universe, which you'll be able to use to buy those ships in-game with UEC. That's
so
out of the horse's mouth, yeah.
So you get, just like confirmation that you deserve this. And nobody else who doesn't have the badge is shit out of luck. I do plan on 100%ing Squadron 2, by the way.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, why not? We've only spent 5 years of our lives now following this thing. Why wouldn't you when the game comes out?
Unless it's one of those things where doing one thing precludes you from doing another.
As in, like, choice paths? I doubt that will be a thing, though, because it's a single player game, right? So you'd always be able to go back and do go to paths that you didn't do before, and maybe you might have 2 conflicting badges on your suit, but like just it's a video game, right?
Yeah. Maybe every time you redo a mission, it spawns a new character. But
a new character that goes out to earn your badge to put on the Dodge Prime or something.
It's like, you know, the multiverse theory that every time you make a choice, a new universe is created where that choice plays out. But you know, that would be a very easy and very stupid way of creating unlimited characters per account.
Okay.
So maybe not.
Oh, so what I've done is I've just pulled up the RTV Chris Roberts thing because I was just thinking about the whole badge thing they were talking about. I mean, like, not
still
badge,
on
but
about those badges, the pips.
Yes, I am.
I'm actually gonna have to do that tomorrow, aren't I?
Yes, you are. Because basically, there's a question that goes, what are the thoughts on perks that can be transferred from Squadron 42 into the PU? And then Chris says, you will unlock badges in Squadron 42, which will allow you to get certain things in the PU. Through relationships in Squadron 42, you can unlock missions and content in the PU. And there may also be a veterans group in the PU, which will give you missions if you complete Squadron 42.
All right. So it's not a veterans group like...
they'll support you. No, it's like
like a support group. War. Yeah,
no, more war for you.
No, it's basically like a support group, like, you know, for shell shock or PTSD veterans.
No, it's more like a PMC hiring people who have military experience.
Yeah. Because everybody in the UE is a badass and doesn't get shell shock. But where were we before you so rudely interrupted me?
I didn't interrupt you. You'd finish your sentence.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, but... Okay, the missions. Yes, the forking of the missions. Or the forking missions.
Yes,
we're not allowed to fucking swear on this show. We are. Do you think Mass Effect had it?
Forking missions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it in 1 or 2? I think it was in Mass Effect 2 where you had to choose which team member to kill.
Yeah. And I guess if you save scummed, you could go back and see what happened. But I don't think... I mean, why not? It's a single player game. You want to play the game how you want to play it. But far as how those things will echo in Star Citizen, I think that they'll just make it so that they won't have to sweat that much about anything by just making it not matter. You know, like that specific thing, it won't matter. You know?
I don't think so. I believe that Chris Roberts is like involved enough in sort of wanting to create an impactful story that you will worry about choices.
Right.
And he's got a great writing staff that are able to help him out with that.
Right.
Although, you know, depending on what sort of save system they implement, that's going to be easily counteracted. Because there will be checkpoints. You won't, like originally they said something like you will only be able to save your progress when you're on the address, which I still believe is kind of like something that they will do. Like if you want to save the game and exit and then come back.
I think as a single player game, that'd be a pain in the ass if you couldn't just hit escape and save and quit. I mean, yeah, sure, it's diegetic having to fly back to your ship and like go back to bed and sleep. And
this coming from the person who played Dark Souls.
An MMO is different than... I'm talking about Star Citizen where you have to where you'll have to log off in your bed.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Squadron 42.
Right. Yeah, I don't see why you'd need to sleep in your bed to log off. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what he said.
You don't have to go back to Firelink Shrine to leave Dark Souls. You just respawn at a bonfire.
Well, no, I mean, like, if you want to save your progress, you have to go back to the ship But there will still be checkpoints throughout the missions. So if you die during the mission, you don't start all the way back at the ship, but you start at the latest checkpoint. Although I wouldn't want that to actually be like a solid save point if you exit the game and then come back. Although what happens if the game crashes and then deletes like an hour's worth of progress you just put in? That'd be, I don't know.
So as far as forking paths go in the quests and stuff, in that RTV, Chris did say that, okay, so yes, there will be forking paths or whatever, but there is only going to be one ending. Yeah. So
one overall ending, yeah.
One overall ending, yeah. So verbatim, he says, well, I mean, the question goes, will Squadron 42 have different endings? If so, will the different endings have an effect on your character in the PU? And his response is, it will affect your character in terms of what they've earned. The concept is that you play Squadron 42, it fills out your journal. The things that you unlock, you do unlock things in the PU. There is only one successful ending in Squadron 42, the others being dying and getting thrown into the brig. So I think he just ruined an ending there. You can play Star Citizen while playing Squadron 42. As you get certain points in Squadron, you will then unlock things. So you can retroactively unlock things even if you're just playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting way they're going to resolve that. But another thing about the save system is, like, a lot of games just have a single save slot these days.
Yeah.
So if you do something, you can go back and save a random save slot and try a different path in the story. Would you want that in Squadron 42? Like, play a mission that makes you choose something, and then before you make the choice, you save to another slot.
If I'm given the option, I will always do that, because if I know that there is a better option, then I don't feel good unless I know that there is no going back.
Yeah.
To get the right one. Yeah, that's why I stopped playing Life is Strange after the rooftop scene, because it shook me far too many times before I could get that one done. And it's not a good scene, you know? But yeah. What about you? I mean, like,
I'm kind of conflicted on this.
I like the traditional, like, 3 slots, and then you get to choose a slot and whatever. Or I mean, in PC, I mean, that's a console game thing. You get
that's
3
a console game thing.
You get 3 slots.
In a PC game, you get unlimited slots.
With PC gaming, it's like you just have a whole list of states, right? Like like Skyrim and stuff had a whole list of states, and you can just go back to which
Half-Life 2, F6. Quick save, F9, quick load. There's not going to be quick save and quick load. So it's possible that if we do have several save slots, they will all happen on the Idris between missions during downtime.
Right.
Which would be a pain in the ass if you have to replay a boring mission. Okay, contextually maybe not boring, but just long-winded one, you know. Just you have to travel for half an hour to get somewhere.
Travel does seem to be a pretty interesting thing at the moment, at least in Star Citizen. You would think that they would at least have checkpoints or whatever, so if things did go pear-shaped, you would just go back to a previous state.
Yeah. Well, if you die, you will start from the last checkpoint, but will you get enough control to intentionally go back to the previous checkpoint and choose another path?
Right.
Yeah.
I guess you're hoping,
because that doesn't seem very cinematic to me. You know,
it isn't. It isn't. No. But that's where, you know, like a video game overwrites cinematic.
Especially PC game, where you've always were given that option unless it wasn't a shitty console port.
Right. So I don't know how much agency Chris had over his previous games and the user interface and how that stuff worked, but I'd hazard to guess that, like, if he's testing it as much as he is testing this one, where the test character is his head.
We saw that, didn't we?
Yeah. Then I would say
that was hilarious. If anybody doesn't know that, in ATV, where they showed a different was it like a different approach?
They just re-rendered it, and it was in third person. Instead of first.
But a different viewpoint for, I think it was approaching Old Man when he's jumping off the Gladius during the inspection, and you can definitely tell, even though it's cameras behind there, it's definitely Chris's head.
Yeah.
Which means that, one, he got his head scanned, and two, it's going to be very recognizable, just like, Leon Cunningham and Fairbrass and Mark Hamill. All of these people are very recognizable, and the technology apparently works just for everyone. So when we get to see you, Mr. Scan Face, Scan Head, in the game, it's going to be... You're going to be pulling that face, aren't you?
I'm sure.
Yeah. You're going to be pulling that face as you get shot in the back of the head, aren't you? Or you're going to be the janitor. Not in Squadron 42, but on Star Citizen. Like in Area 18, on the back alley, you just have one just like sweeping and muttering to himself.
But yeah, going back to Freelancer and Chris Roberts' control over his games, I mean, I haven't played any of them, but I'd imagine that the way those games saved and the way those games worked in terms of checkpoints would be very similar to Squadron 42.
Yeah.
So if anybody wanted to get more of an idea, they'd probably have to just check.
Right, because we don't know.
Yeah. Because
we didn't play those games.
Yeah. I actually had it installed at some point.
I think I played one. It was a free game, and... if memory serves, you had to start at the beginning of the mission every time.
Right. I mean, in Wing Commander, do you have to start at the beginning? I think you do. So you very much do. That's why Ben was playing, and he was like, oh, if you die here, you have to do the whole thing again from the beginning. So hopefully it's not the same. I don't know.
We will get the checkpoints, but as I said before, will you have enough control over those checkpoints to just stop playing if you don't, if you don't like the way the story is progressing, and go back to a checkpoint before the choice was made?
Yeah, I think most story-based games I played in the past, I mean, in recent memory, when you hit escape, it says either start from most recent checkpoint or start level again. Hopefully, but this game won't have levels because it's all, you can choose to leave the Idris and then go to the Starfarer and do that mission.
I don't think you can choose, because you're just a lieutenant.
Right, so when I say...
don't give the orders.
Right.
You have to wait for the mission to be given a go before you can launch.
Right,
and that is a sort of new level.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, the similarity to Wing Commander. But what I'm saying is that in that quote-unquote new level, you then have the option to then travel however, it was 10, 20 minutes from leaving the Idris to finding the Starfarer. And then there's the option there at the Starfarer to do that one thing. And then there's the option, I mean, hopefully...
Yeah, hopefully the checkpoints will be spread out quite logically.
Yeah, and then you could just choose to start from the beginning if you wanted to.
Restart from checkpoint, restart from mission.
Yeah.
But, latest checkpoint, if you're 5 checkpoints in, you want to go 3 checkpoints back.
I doubt they give you that much agency in this game. But yeah.
So we cleared up that. What's next on the menu?
What's next on the menu? I mean, I think we've kind of covered everything in terms of the live stream. I mean, there are some questions that Chris was asked and he answered. We've already covered a few of those. I mean, just skimming
And I hate one thing. There will not be a romantic option, at least in episode 1.
Well, keep it in your pants, Lieutenant. I mean, okay, so to touch on that, I don't think that it would be necessary or relevant. And I don't think that they would have enough, I suppose, flexibility, because you can be either or gender, and not every person is receptive to every gender. So or in the same way. So
because can you just to be a bit crass here, but I can just imagine all the disappointment where all the male people in Mass Effect 1 chose a female character and then tried to romance Miranda and then realized she didn't bend that way.
Right. I mean, I never rolled it as a female. Could you? I don't know.
No. The only options were the alien chicks.
Right. Okay. So just scrolling...
Which, if you are a Captain Kirk at heart, was no problem. All the blue-skinned ladies.
So scrolling through the rest of the questions that were posed to Chris. So will the coil be in the PU? Yes, of course.
Yep.
Will Squadron 42 have a difficulty option? Yes, definitely. But it's not going to be too easy either. Character customization.
Yeah, but what sort of difficulty do you think there's going to be? Just skill level for AI, or will there be like missions, harder missions that unlock or get replaced by the easier missions get replaced by the hard ones. I
don't think they'd replace missions. I just think that it'll be a matter of either enemy HP or just enemy density. That's
your standard difficulty curve. Nothing very innovative in that sort of respect, I suppose. You can't expect Squadron 42 and Star Citizen to be, new and improved in every aspect. It's still a video game.
If we think about it, I think that it'll most definitely just be a matter of HP. In the most recent PTU patch, or PU patch now, I mean, the main thing they've done there is they did a massive tweak to NPCs. They basically half the HP and half the shields and stuff. So I think that increasing time to kill will be a very logical thing in terms of making things difficult, but at the same time also making them more proficient, being able to hit you more as well. Otherwise, it's just like, okay, and now I'm just sitting here hitting this, like I did this afternoon, right? Just sitting down shooting at this caterpillar for like literally 3 minutes because shields are too strong.
Or it could be just that they are better pilots.
Yeah.
And not actually having more HP, but being able to avoid your fire and getting to your blind spots and being able to outmaneuver you more. Ship wise, and then on foot maybe collaborate more if they're as a team, and do some unexpected tactics like dropping at you from like an railing from above or stuff like that. Something unorthodox that you wouldn't expect from normal AI, because just bumping up their HP and shields for difficulty seems
a bit lazy.
Lazy, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, lazy. I was trying to be more articulate in my expressions, but I suppose just whatever works. Lazy.
Yeah, I feel lazy would work, but then again, at the same time, when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about just in my head, I was like, okay, the way the AI is right now is how it's going to be, but obviously it's not, and it's one of their milestone things to do throughout the year to basically address and make NPC pilots more proficient. So maybe they'll just make them much more proficient. They'll barrel roll when they need to, that kind of thing.
Because NPCs you'll be able to hire will have different skill levels in flight, turret operation, engineering, problem solving and stuff like that. So that could be the basis. The same system could be the basis for the difficulty curve in Squadron 42.
So the next question, and I do apologize that we're just reading Chris Roberts' questions, but this is
like we ever had a plan.
Pertinent information regardless. Totally. But yeah, so Character customization in Squadron 42. Is it the same system in Squadron 42 as in Star Citizen? And then Chris says, it'll be the same system for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. The system for Star Citizen Alpha 3.1 will be pretty basic, switching between heads, hair, eye, and skin color, and that's due at the end of March.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, it's on the roadmap.
Yeah.
Yeah. The final system will have full options, including facial morphing. This system will be in both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. It'll be in game.
So is it like that 3 lateral demo that we saw?
I guess, if that's what he means by facial morphing. He said that it'll also be in-game. Part of the journey in Squadron 42 will include choosing what your face looks like and your gender. So I'm guessing kind of like Fallout 4 / Mass Effect-y kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like you will most likely do it in front of a mirror. Although I mean, this game, I started following Star Citizen before Fallout 4 came out. And when Fallout 4 came out, it was a whole, what do I look like in front of the mirror? Honey? Honey? So I'm guessing because Fallout 4 has come and gone and done that, they might do something else now.
Unless it required motion capture or performance capture.
Yeah.
Although probably not. I don't know if I read this in a spoiler for Squadron 42 or if it's been debunked or whatever, but
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. In either case, whether I'm talking out of my ass or recalling this verbatim,
I'll do this.
You are injured in battle, and your face is completely whooped, to use a technical term, and then in a facial reconstructor, you basically choose what your new face is going to look like.
Yeah, that was leaked content.
Ah, okay.
So
spoiler alert over.
So, the next question is, how will death affect the campaign? So, Chris says, if you die, you have to return to your last save point. Save points won't be as frequent as Call of Duty. For example, there needs to be weight to success or failure. So, yeah, they won't be as frequent as we hope.
So basically, no hot quick save.
So if we're using basically no quick saves. Chris doesn't want quick saves. But in terms of checkpoints, though, I mean, like if we're to use the vertical slices as an example, where would you think those checkpoints would be?
When you arrive at Starfarer, then when you arrive at Trejo's abandoned ship, then when you arrive at the planet in orbit before the battle,
right,
and then maybe when you touch down and go on foot.
Possibly. I mean, that's still like what, 5 checkpoints you listed there in an hour?
Still quite a few, yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
The next question is, what part of any of Squadron 42 will be cooperative? And the answer
well, before you answer,
yes,
there was a notion from the very beginning that there will be some missions where there will be drop-in co-op or whatever it's called.
And I heard that, back then.
Yeah, but it was never really explained what sort of
degree.
On what sort of degree? Yeah. Will your friend replace the old man, or will it be only just sort of missions where a lot of NPCs accompany you on a mission, and then your friend or friends replace some of the low-level ones, not the higher interactable ones like the old man.
I mean, that would make sense too, and you could just like have them come along. Then again, in that whole scene where you leave, I mean, that hangar only has space for the 2 Gladiuses. I mean, by the looks of it.
Well, yeah, but the Javelin is what?
You sit on the cockpit like a figurehead. Onwards.
I do believe the Idris isn't going to be your only base of operation.
That's true. I think that as you progress,
the Javelin was built specifically with Squadron 42 in mind, that you upgrade from the Idris to a Javelin, and then the Javelin has a much larger deployment capacity, so to speak.
Right. So
because it might have troop dropships, not just 2 fighters.
Right. So Chris's answer to that question, which was, will there be cooperation in Squadron 42, is there will be no cooperative story campaign. As you progress through Squadron, some of the big battles will be able to be played separately from the campaign as cooperative battles through, I'm guessing, maybe Mobiglass. I mean, sorry, not Mobiglass, the Simpods.
Because there were Simpods in the Idris.
There were. So I'm guessing
the pilot ready room.
In the pilot ready room, yes.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be it. And I think I've already heard that been stated before, that you'd be able to like just do like the key missions in Arena Commander,
or just repeat them after you've done them, or whatever.
So next question is, a majority of the website is new now. Are there any plans to revamp the other sections of the site, like the store, throughout the year? And this is actually funny because we were actually like complaining about certain things on the website being a ride this afternoon, weren't we?
Because the electronic access part of the shop has a very convoluted and hidden way of accessing, even though it seems to share the framework of the normal shop.
Right.
So it's either they forgot to make the menu, the big menu button, a drop-down menu for the Pledge Store and Voyager Direct and the Electronic Access, which are 3 different stores. Not complex at all. Or they're just getting ready to migrate everything in game, so the only thing that's left for the website to do is actual money transfers.
And that was the general consensus, wasn't it? That like they probably left it because it wasn't going to be there for long. But yeah, it's pretty convoluted right now, and sadly, the issue council doesn't have website problems listed on the issue council, so you can't even report it anymore. Which is funny because it's a brand new website, so you'd think that the issue council would be most pertinent for that.
We are concierge, though. We could abuse that privilege.
Could do.
Shall we, though?
I forgot my top hat in my other drawer.
Yes, and I have to whenever I initiate concierge tickets, I put both my monocles on, and as we know, you can't see through the monocles, and then therefore I'm unable to type and interact with the staff.
So Chris says, yes, the release, of course, is just phase 1. The main idea behind their current release was to separate out the introduction of Star Citizen and Squadron 42 sections from the RSI development side. This was to do a better job of introducing new people to the game. Community has been doing a great job of this, and now CIG is trying to improve as well. Right on.
Right, so, because this is a Squadron 42 episode, which is precisely why we're discussing the website.
I mean, it was just a question that came up, and I have no filter. So,
yeah, no wonder you're so black.
What? Will there be a roadmap for Squadron 42 at some point in the future? Damn it, Darj, it's so. Black History Month. I don't deserve this right now. Will there be a roadmap? He says there will be at some point in the future.
Yeah, well, the website design for the roadmap does kind of paint that picture, because on the left side, yeah, you have Star Citizen, and you can click that, and it basically just refreshes the page, and it's designed as if there's going to be several other identical tabs for it below it.
Right.
Although the only thing I don't like about that page, and this is something that we could report if the issue council had a website section, there's no way to exit unless you go into the URL and delete the everythingafter.com.
Exit what? The
roadmap.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There's no link out.
If you click on the Robert Space Industries icon top left, it just refreshes the roadmap.
Huh. That's pretty funny.
But that little tangent aside, what question was Chris Roberts asked next? Because apparently this is no longer a Squadron 42 episode.
It is. He's answering questions about Squadron 42. It was the Squadron 42 RTV.
Fine. Do go on then.
If I must. Will we see any more big name actors in Squadron 42? Yes.
Yes.
Somebody asks, is Squadron 42 turning out how you expected it back in 2012? He says it's much bigger and cooler, but we won't.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever was expected back then, it's just everything is just so much better. I don't think any aspect of the game degraded. Everything got improved.
So there are only three questions left. I'm sure you'll be happy about this, Dodge. One of them is, can we expect first-person combat throughout Squadron 42? And the answer is,
we saw that.
Yeah, yes, throughout, he says. This has always been the dream, and if I were to do another Wing Commander, it would have been done the same way. There's plenty of ship combat and plenty of FPS. It's about 50-50. 50-50 is a bit much, I think. I mean, you'd think that there'd be more spaceship fight in Squadron 42. I mean,
could be because it's time wise, but it just everything takes longer on foot.
Right.
So effective wise, ship combat makes much more of an impact.
Will Squadron 42 be available in other languages besides English? Yes, voice for some, captions only for some. And can we see our characters speak in third person? Or will we be restricted to only first person? So this is going back to that thing that we saw with the re-render and stuff with Chris's head in the foreground. And he says it hasn't been decided yet. They have the ability to do either and fully captured the performance of the actor who played the player. All cinematics are live, so you can change your perspective. There will be a cinematic mode, but you can also just cut back to your own view.
Yeah. But, well, we haven't seen, and it hasn't been explained whether sequences where you're an integral part will also be played out from a third-person perspective.
Sorry, repeat that. You cut out.
I was cutting up here. It hasn't been specified whether cutscenes where your character is an integral part will be played out in sort of a cinematic third-person way.
Well, the last sentence from Chris goes, if you are disobedient, remember you are in the military, you can get thrown in the brig. Yep.
Okay, then.
Yeah, which now gives me a whole different question. Is the brig a failure state, or is there a story that leads on from the brig?
But that would be a very, very forked story if you were sent to the brig by your own action, not because the story demanded it.
Yeah.
Like if you were dry humping Captain White or something, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why that was the first offense that popped into my head, but, you know, who hasn't had the fantasy of dry humping Leon Cunningham in their, you know...
You, I guess.
But anyway, I'm very excited for Squadron 42.
I am too. Like, I am 42.
Jesus Christ. Will it? Oh, jeez, I'm even scared to ask this question. Will it be as good a game as we've hyped it up to be in our heads?
I think so. Chris Roberts has a storied I guess experience as a movie director. So as we've seen from the cinematics, you know, he's going full movie quality. It depends whether or not you think that. I mean, like, obviously people grow, and so he's obviously grown as not only a game producer and developer and all that kind of stuff, but also as a director in all these cinematics and cutscenes and stuff. So, I mean, if you like Chris Roberts' movies, you'll probably like Squadron 42. Now, in terms of the story and how that plays out. In terms of the gameplay, though, I mean, we've got some of the biggest and best minds in game design working on the gameplay, and that's going to be solid regardless. So, I think objectively, yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Right. I think just everybody should keep their expectations in check as to the sort of hero factor their character is going to take upon. It's not going to be like the savior of the universe like you may be expecting from games like Mass Effect or Dragon Age or Skyrim or stuff like that.
They could add Death Stars.
They could add Death Stars. They could add superpowers. They could add telepathic piranhas. I don't know.
Basically, what Darj is saying is that because Squadron 42 leads into an MMO where you aren't the chosen one, like in World of Warcraft or any kind of thing, that the story mode has to kind of keep you grounded.
But there's still a lot of room for emotional baggage, I suppose. Like emotional turmoil and a lot of evocative, storytelling, I think because that is where a good storyteller lies. It's not making everything grandiose and,
I think you don't even need to worry about all that because, I mean, yes, a lot of things, they always kind of tend to make the main character, the Nancy Drew, to make that main character the chosen one, right? Well, I mean, Squadron 42 is called Squadron 42. It's about the Squadron 42. So it could be about a badass squadron that you just happen to be a part of. So instead of one hero charging to the forefront, it's that one hero with a fleet of other heroes with them. I mean, in that way you can still have...
but a squadron. These are very specific numerical terms.
A battalion, but an armada. But you know what I mean? Like, so I think we can still have those epic moments. Especially, I mean, we saw an epic moment where he goes to save Trejo, who is supposed to be like a super agent or something, and he's by himself, and he goes there on foot, right? I mean, even though Old Man tells him not to. So I think you'll still have your hero moments, but I still feel like all the characters on their own. I mean, like. All the supporting characters on their own are strong enough to be main characters. I mean, like Old Man and such. So I don't think we have to.
I wonder if Squadron 42 is basically just you and the Old Man.
I hope not.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
Because you would expect at least 42 people. I know that's not how it works.
Yeah.
How many people in a squadron anyway? Or how many? Or is a squadron a number of ships or fighters or whatever it is?
A squadron in Air Force, Army aviation, or naval aviation is a unit comprising a number of military aircraft and their aircrews, usually of the same type, typically with 12 to 24 aircraft. So 12 to 24 Idrises, all part of Squadron 42.
No. That's a flotilla or a fleet. Fighters would be part of a squadron. So 12 to 24 gladiuses.
Yeah, I'm just saying it says aircraft, okay? But you're right. It would be 12 to 24 sabers.
In this case, the interest takes the part of the Kitty Hawk class aircraft carrier.
Right. Yes. I was being pedantic. All right.
So that means more, at least Idris class ships joining in to combine. So if it's only Idrises, it's at least 6 to 12.
Right.
Idrises, because 2 gladiuses per ship.
Right.
But there's javelins and bagel carriers.
Yeah.
Which are far
gotta have
more...
them bagels.
gotta have them bagels. I'm hungry. And, well, I suppose, you know what? I have an idea. Since this show, at least it's planned to come out every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And the plan for CIG's ATVs is to have one Squadron 42 based ATV a month. We could do alternating Star Citizen Squadron 42 episodes.
We could do. I like that.
Right, because this is the first time that we're getting actual confirmation of Squadron 42 information. And since we'll have like quite a bit at each month, this is an idea I just had, and I'm almost choking again on my own genius. But shall we?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was a time when we were almost a news show. I mean, we've gone back to what we should be. But, yeah, I like this. I like this idea.
Okay, well, you've heard it here first, folks. This episode was heavily Squadron 42 based. Next one will possibly be Star Citizen, unless we are overtaken by another Squadron 42 based ATV, in which case next episode will be more of the same. Haha.
Hey.
Ho. But do you think we've waxed poetical for quite long enough in this episode?
I am out of disk space.
You're out of disk space.
Not really, but I'm almost there, man.
Well, then I suppose it's time to end. Ladies and gentlemen, both on Twitch and on YouTube, this has been a Squadron 42 special episode of Fortnightly Frontier. I have been your host, Darjanator. Over there has been my beautiful assistant, although not wearing a pink tutu, Myre of Test. You can find us on youtube.com/Fortnightly Frontier, or if you desire to watch live, it is on twitch.tv/Myre, a much simpler URL to remember and type into your address bar.
Tried and tested.
Tried and tested, because this is the Test Squadron, of course.
Indeed.
Indeed. Anyway, this has been Fortnightly Frontier, and we will see you in the verse.